would like a P, B, and J sandwich? I bet you do.
I'll kick it out. I'm fucking kill you. Get me the fuck out of here, motherfucker.
Wait, you're trying to say something? Well, you shouldn't be talking with tape over your mouth. That's just rude. Let me take it off for you.
Let me out of here, you fucking psychopath. If you don't fucking let me out of here, I'm gonna fucking kill you the first chance I get.
I have been nothing but good to you, sir. And you have not treated my hospitality with respect. I even made you the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Well, we know what I have to do now.
So that sounds good. You did.
Oh, I'm sorry. God, did you want some?
Fuck off.
Oh, you were being rude to me. Well, you can't be rude. You don't want the beast to come out. But,
Show you fucking beast.
like, honestly though, I can't talk about the movie and just by myself. I need somebody else, so I guess you're the only one around.
Fucking untie me now.
Fine. I'll untie you and...
You fucking prick.
You okay?
I'll smack you in the face.
You don't want the beast coming out.
I'll show you a fucking beast.
Welcome everybody to a brand new movie review where we talk about Clap. We talk about Clap, yeah.
Well, if you don't know, this movie is a direct sequel to actually not one but two different movies.
Yes, Unbreakable
Mm-hmm.
and Split.
Christ, how long was Unbreakable? It was 99, 98, somewhere
98, 99, somewhere around there, that's what I would say.
It's
Yeah.
2 decades in the making.
Yes, oh my god. Now, let me say this much right off the bat. When I saw Unbreakable for the first time, now I saw it in the theater,
I did too.
and you have to understand that he was red hot. M. Night Shyamalan was red hot
I
off
think it was
of...
like their beginning prime of his career.
Yeah, like he was red hot off of Sixth Sense. Like Sixth Sense and then this. And I was primed. And I loved Unbreakable. Unbreakable was to me like, I was like, oh my god, this is what a comic book movie should be.
I think the best part for me in that whole movie was the scene where he's got the rain slicker on and you hear the like the music and where he's just like going by everybody and like feeling their darkest sins.
Yeah. I love that shit.
I think that's the crucial thing for these movies is the music alone.
Well, yeah, I just, to me, man, Samuel Jackson was awesome. Bruce Willis was awesome. Man, I love that movie. And the unfortunate thing was that the movie didn't do very well at the box office. It bombed. People weren't really ready for that type of movie.
I enjoyed it enough to watch it. I mean,
oh, I loved it. I just don't think audiences were ready for it, to be honest with you. And, time passes. I think Unbreakable got more love over the years for it. And M. Night did a lot more projects. Yeah. And,
15, 16 years later, we hear of a different movie that's coming out called Split.
Now, when you heard of Split was a very interesting type of movie. It was one that was like multiple personalities, James McAvoy kidnapping these girls. Okay, very interesting thing. Let's go and...
Trying to bring forth this almost like demonic, almost like godlike dark figure called the Beast.
Called the Beast. And basically, in a nutshell, first of all, the movie's fucking great.
Yeah, he just watched it.
I had never watched the movie until now, guys.
I told him, I was like, this was a great movie. You need to watch this.
Here's the problem, guys. I'm going to be very honest with you. I hadn't watched it for a long time because I was worried I wasn't going to like it, man. I was just worried.
It was going to be a worthy movie to, compare. Because at that point, you didn't know until I actually told you how connected to Unbreakable.
Yeah, but I just, even before then, I was like, everyone's heaping so much praise on this. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, because usually I don't like a lot of stuff that everybody else always loves. I'm a little bit more contrarian.
Just look at Unbreakable. You have two great performances by Bruce Willis and Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
In this movie, Split, you have James McAvoy, who does a great job with each distinct personality.
Damn right, man.
You can literally see it in his face. It's like, this is a completely different person.
Yes, and Anya Taylor-Joy,
yeah,
who played one of the kidnapped victims. Now, the movie's great, but it wasn't until that final credit sequence where you really found out what M. Night was doing, and that was basically connecting Unbreakable and Split together. And then that's when people were like, oh my God, oh my God.
I know, when I saw it in the theater by myself, I'm like, everybody was like, oh my God, they're going there. You kind of look like the Beast right there.
Don't mess with the Beast! Here's the thing. But no, but that's when people got hyped. And then after that, the movie was a success. And suddenly you had M. Night saying, hey,
we're thinking about doing a third movie
that's going to combine Unbreakable and Split together.
A.K.A. called
Glass. And so now we're here. Before we get into the review, I do want to say this is going to be a full-on spoiler review. We are going to talk about all of the spoilers, everything in it. We could do a non-spoiler, but we'd be dancing around a lot of subject matter. And quite frankly, we really want to give our true thoughts to you guys, so we definitely want to talk about every single thing in the movie. So this will be a spoiler review. Where, sir, do you want to start?
Well, I mean, you pretty much know a good chunk of the casting is coming back for this.
Yes.
You've got Bruce Willis, you got Samuel Jackson. I forget what you said her name was.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy. You've got Sarah Paulson from American Horror Story.
Yeah, Sarah Paulson's here.
I forget the actor who played the son from the original Unbreakable movie.
Yes, he is back. He's back as well.
The one that played Elijah's mother is back in this. Actually, the original actress from Unbreakable. She just had a lot of...
I wondered whether that was her or not.
Yeah,
it was her. Okay.
It's hard to tell because they have to make them look physically aged. So.
Yeah, aged. But I think she looks. good. I think all the actors here, bar none, do a great job. They do an awesome job here. And again, what's great about the movie is that
I'm trying to figure out the time frame between Split and this.
Well, here's my thing. There's something in the movie, and I forget if it's at the beginning of the movie, somebody says something of like, oh hey, it's been 3 weeks since...
apparently, he grew a beard very quickly, because in this movie he's got a full-on beard. He's got like a...
I don't know whether it's 3 weeks. I don't think it's years.
I think it was more like 3 months.
Maybe it was 3 months. I mean, I don't think it's been years. I think it's been more like months or something like that. But the fact of he's searching for him.
It could have been 3 years. I mean, cause she does look older in this movie.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, they do specifically say, though, that it's 19 years since the incident in Unbreakable. So we do at least have that time frame.
At least he gives you a time frame. That's like, he does look considerably older. It's not like this is like the sequel to, it's not like it's five months later from an Unbreakable.
No, it's not like that at all, guys. But, see, the thing about what I was worried about here, specifically with the acting, was... it had been so long since Samuel Jackson and Bruce Willis were in these roles, man. And I was just like, for McAvoy, I mean, it's a fucking joy watching McAvoy on screen here, man.
You just don't know which personality's coming next. I mean,
he's doing then like, yo, man, yeah, I love this stuff.
And he turns into Dennis, then he turns into Patricia, then he turns into Hedwig.
Step away from the switch.
And you see a couple ones that you've never seen before.
And there's so much great... I mean, it's a joy for him. But I was worried about Bruce and Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, what were you worried?
I was wondering how they were going to tie them all together in this movie. I'm like, well, you know, from the last movie that he, you know, Bruce Willis' character, a.k.a. the Overseer, is going after the Horde.
Yes, yeah, he's going after the Horde.
You know, you gotta realize he's been doing the vigilante thing for almost 2 decades now.
Yes, he's been doing a lot of petty criminals, petty stuff like that, yes.
And even his son's working with him now to help him, you know, triangulate and learn where the potential crimes are.
Well, that's true. I mean, did you like the acting from Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce, or did you like that, or no?
See, the problem is for Samuel L. Jackson's character, Mr. Glass, he has a small but vital role in this movie. I didn't feel like it got fleshed out enough.
He's playing it, well, at first he's playing it kind of comatose.
Yeah, he's like twitching and barely moving. But then you realize he's got some kind of master game plan.
It's all a game. It's all a plan to him. And I think Samuel Jackson does a really good job in this movie. Again, as I agree with you, it's small, but it's crucial. And it's not like he has the spotlight in it. And I wouldn't even say Bruce Willis has the spotlight in this movie either.
It felt like he went from like a main character to almost secondary.
It's like a second. I mean, he still has a decent role in here.
Yeah. It felt like it was mostly focused on the Beast in this movie.
It's basically McAvoy's show, just like it was in Split, which is fine. I mean, we're happy with it.
When you see the first confrontation between him and the Beast, and like he's like throwing like a giant, like I would say a giant like workbench table at him or something, and I'm like, this thing's like a massive table.
He's just taking it and he's just like,
they're just like throwing at each other like it's nothing, like a paperweight.
Yes, and you know what I love about, and that was something that you had even brought up like months ago. You brought up like, oh, how cool is it going to be Willis and McAvoy, these two people that are just like these almost like super human people just fighting each other and going at them.
I mean, they were shoving each other into columns like they were nothing. I mean,
it was just like throwing something, they're hitting the columns, they're punching. Of course, it's sort of, you know, the whole thing of, you know the concrete is breaking and everything like that.
You gotta realize he's been doing the thing for almost 2 decades. He's not exactly in his physical prime anymore.
No, he's not in his physical prime anymore.
Maybe in his prime, he would have won the first fight against the Beast, but they're like almost toe to toe with each other.
They're going toe to toe. They're fighting. And, you know, what's really interesting about it is that basically, see, they're doing the fight, right? And they're basically, you know, pretty much equal. They get shoved out of the window, and
the Beast tries crushing them. It's just like it's not working, because that's like his WWF finisher move. I'm gonna crush you to death.
Like it's like you're like I'm Willis, and you're just like.
I'm like, maybe if he did that to Willis, he probably would have won.
Probably would have won, but I mean, no, it's the thing. But suddenly the fight is interrupted.
Yeah, by Sarah Paulson's character.
And a whole bunch of cops.
Yeah.
Or who we believe are cops until the end.
And apparently she knew the secret identity of the Overseer, so like.
She knew who David Dunn was. She knew who Kevin was. Of course, she knows about Mr. Glass, Elijah, and
they pretty much bring them all to
this mental
Ravenhill or something.
Ravenhill Mental Hospital or Memorial Hospital, but it's basically a mental asylum.
We diagnose you with this disbelief that you believe you guys are superheroes.
You guys are superheroes, and that this is a disorder that I've been studying and I've been working on.
Trying to cure these people to think that they are not superheroes. It's all in their minds.
It's all in their heads. It's all in their minds, and
they each got their own personal cell.
Yes, they've all got their personal cells, and so each is catered to them. Like, for instance, with David's character, played by Bruce Willis, if you guys remember in Unbreakable, his weakness is water. So they have this thing where if he's getting angry or if they think he's going to attack something or someone,
he gets sprayed
with water.
Literally drowned almost.
Yes. On the flip side, with somebody like Kevin's character, anytime that he's like going towards the door or he's about to just lunge at somebody,
aggressive.
There's these lights,
flashing lights to make him change personality,
like on a dime. And so that happens to him. And it's really interesting. And basically with Elijah, he's just pretending to be comatose, so they don't really even bother with him.
They don't even consider him a threat anymore because he's so drugged up.
Yeah, there's just not even an issue with that. I guess to me, that's all very well and good and interesting. What did you think about the psychology of it? The psychology of Sarah Paulson's character, the psychology of trying to get these people out of being superheroes.
Well, I know we're doing spoilers. Do you want me to go to it right now or just wait till the end?
Hey, man, we'll go to it now. We'll do it.
So basically, Sarah Paulson's character apparently works for some kind of secret order or society who knows about the existence of extraordinary beings, or superhumans as you call it.
Yeah.
But their thing was like, oh, we don't care if you're good or bad. We just can't keep you from letting the world know that you exist. So they basically give them two basic options. One, they can do therapy to make them disbelieve their own capabilities, or they put them through this type of machine that almost like in a way kind of, I won't say lobotomizes them, more like makes their mind disbelieve what they can do.
Yes, the idea that basically she is trying to break them down so much that they will be...
Mostly all these movies have to deal with one thing: belief. That's what she's trying to do, is counteract that belief.
Counteract the belief. So in a lot of ways, she's doing that, but we don't find out that big nugget until the end of the movie.
And kind of really pissed me off a little bit, and I know you weren't happy about it.
No. So let's get into the ending and what our thoughts are, because might as well. That's the best. Another jumping off point, I guess, to talk about it.
They do the giant confrontation between McAvoy's character, Bruce Willis, and Samuel Jackson's character, so that they can show the world superheroes exist. They do have a big fight scene, which lasted for a couple minutes, and then the cops arrive to try to stop them, and they pretty much get their ass kicked.
Well, yeah, they're not prepared.
They're not trained for superhumans. But eventually the fight breaks out to the point where they're both all weakened or nearly killed, and we find out how they are all connected. It connects with the first film with the giant train wreck.
Which I actually like.
Yeah.
I actually like that. I like the idea of Kevin's father being on the same train that Willis was in that first film, the idea that Elijah derailed that train, the idea that Elijah created both David being the superhuman and Kevin at the same time.
Yeah.
And all of the differences that happened there, and all of the craziness and everything there. And, basically then Kevin... basically now no longer being sort of an alliance with Elijah, going against him. Mm-hmm. So that goes on, and then after that, that's when things get really interesting, because then of course the cops really come in more and more, and of course the Bruce Willis and James McAvoy, they're fighting more, and they're sort of in this water tank. The water tank ends up breaking, and then that's when secrets get revealed. And we had said the whole thing about this society, which they all have
like a clover.
Like a clover. Apparently,
they existed for 10,000 years.
Apparently, they're the fucking Thorn Cult from Halloween 6 or some shit because they've got fucking little tattoos on them. They're fucking
scenes where like they're in a restaurant or something. Like the last normal people leave, and they all just like freeze up for a moment.
And it's like. See, this is where I started to tune out a little bit in the movie, man. This is when I was really doing it because
I would have made it more sinister by the end of this movie. I would have waited to save that for like the last 2 minutes.
Well,
we're gonna take them each away to separate facilities.
Well, let me ask you this: if you had to do it differently than what the movie does, what would your thing have been? If you would have said,
I would have had David get so weakened he's not strong enough to fight anymore, or at least the way to give him regain his strength.
All right.
And same with the McAvoy characters, like all the personalities don't believe in what they're doing anymore. They all kind of split, and they don't have a real connection to each other.
Well, that's true.
And the Beast kind of loses his power for a little bit.
Sure.
And, Elijah, other than his mental thinking, he's not really much of a threat. All they need to do is find a way to keep him contained and keep him in his room for all the time. I mean, I would have had the society just, like, grab each one while they're in such a weakened state, because, supposedly they're supposed to be not on big killing them, because they, that's not what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to just keep the balance so nothing crazy goes out there. I would have had them each one to a separate facility. Be like, oh, don't worry, we'll take very good care of you now.
That's not their thing, and so I don't know, man. To me, I'm not gonna lie here. I don't know whether I really did it like that or not. I mean, I think it was
a big bullshit way to end their characters.
The fact that they do all die. They die, basically. David, Kevin, Elijah, they all die. Basically, this I don't know whether to call it a society or a cult, or I don't know what the fuck these people are.
The only reason the Beast died so easily is because he transformed back into Kevin, because if a regular bullet wouldn't have phased him.
If it was the Beast, yes. I do agree with that. It's really tough because did I like all of them dying? No, I did not like all of them dying. Did I like the whole reveal of this society thing that just came completely out of nowhere?
It would have been more helpful if it was like hints throughout the movie.
Or maybe even had he set that shit up, maybe even a little bit in like...
Or maybe he found out about it before the events of this movie or something.
Or some shit like that. Or setting something like this up, because it literally... I think a lot of people are not going to like that ending.
It felt like it was like pulled out of their ass type of subplot.
It really did. It felt like M. Night rode up to a certain point and said... Oh my God! I've got no way out. I've got no way out of this.
Other than that subplot in the movie, I thought probably the best scenes was pretty much almost everything else. I mean, I think for me the best scenes were I forget the character's name, Anna Taylor's character.
Oh, Casey. Yes.
Casey and Kevin. Those were like some of the best scenes in the movie.
They were great because you want to know what the thing about it is that they have that history from Split. And
she's grown up a lot. I mean, she's more mature and shit and all that, and she's more confident and more stronger than she was.
Yes, which is really great. She's a very confident female character who really comes in and tries to and doesn't want to like condemn him, but wants to actually help him. Mm-hmm. And I do like that a lot. I like Willis here. I like the dynamic he has with his kid, but you don't get a lot of it. No. I like the Elijah stuff with his mother, but you don't get a lot of that either.
Even when his son, Casey, and the mother sort of formed their own little thing right there, it just felt like it You didn't get enough of it.
You didn't get enough of it, and you didn't get why. I mean, you understand why these three people would come together because they've all experienced
They're each contacted by somebody who's more than a regular person.
But yet at the same time, you wonder why they're together at the same time too. You sit there. I mean,
the only thing that kind of makes up for the ending is like, oh, the society's been trying to keep it in the dark and not let people know about it. They get fucked in the end because Mr. Glass outwits them.
Yes, he actually ends up using all of the cameras in the mental hospital to actually his benefit, and he ends up actually filming all of the fight that happens with...
all the superhuman type stuff.
Yeah, all the stuff with Kevin, all the stuff with David, all that stuff, and then sends it to the family members.
And send it out to everybody.
And to everybody. But I don't know how that helps his cause, Elijah's cause against these people, because, you know, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to look at that footage on YouTube or something and going to say,
real? Is it fake?
Oh, that's fake. Oh, that's CGI. I just don't know how that...
I mean, you already got some normal people that know that it's real, though, because, I mean, like the people at the facility that they were at, like, they saw this stuff happening. It's not like they're just going to forget and pretend it's not real.
Yeah, see, I mean, and then she's like, says to all the facility people, she said, well, we would like it if you kept this quiet and everything, and...
I'm like, why don't they just have him killed or something? I was like, oh, we don't do that. We protect people from superhumans, but, yeah, we're not willing to kill them, but we will if we have to. I'm like, I thought you guys were like almost like non-interference, other than to keep it quiet.
I just don't understand it. I like I said,
I was kind of cheering when she finds out, oh, he downloaded the tapes from all this stuff. She's like screaming. She goes in the hallway and screams. Ah! I'm like, how long do you think that we're gonna keep this a secret? Not forever.
No, and look, to me,
and people already suspected the overseer was like more than a human guy. I mean, they saw him freaking bending steel on the camera.
Again, it's an ending that... Well, let me ask you this. This is actually a bigger thing here. Because not only is it an ending to this movie specifically, but it's an ending to the trilogy.
Yeah.
So if you're taking this as an ending to the entire trilogy, how do you take it at that point?
I think for me it mostly pays off until we get to that whole part with the Secret Society.
But yeah, what I'm saying is that Secret Society ending.
I think that kind of like scrubbed out the rest of the movie when you get to that part.
Yeah, it feels kind of deflated at that point. Like it lost a lot of steam.
I mean, the only other thing I could say is the other people there, the other patients in the facility, were they superhumans? We don't know that.
We don't know. We don't know about that at all.
There were other patients there, so maybe they were.
Maybe they were. It's tough to say. I will say this much, though. That I think the movie is very good in a lot of spots, and I think the action is really well done here. That final fight scene between David and the Beast is really, really awesome. Really well done.
Like, one guy's like flipping over a car, another one's throwing him against a van that literally almost tips it over.
It lived up to my expectations in that way. I liked Willis in this because I think Willis is he's playing it low key. He's not like action Willis guy, gun Willis. He's not that guy. He's more low key. Elijah Samuel Jackson is really cool. He has some really great speeches in here. But again, like his speeches, they're very short lived. There's not a lot of them. He doesn't have a big role in it. I think if you're gonna say the weakest person, it is Sarah Paulson. It is Sarah Paulson who is the weakest out of all.
But then again, you can't really blame the actors. You got to blame
the material,
the part that she was in.
Because I guarantee you, and I love Sarah Paulson. I love Sarah Paulson. To me, you could have had anybody in this role, and I think it would have.
You could have had him dressed up as a female psychiatrist and probably get the part done. Now, here, let me ask you this question before we get done with this.
Yeah.
Remember that question I asked you when we were eating before we decided to do this review?
Yeah.
The part where I asked you, If they knew he was the overseer for this long, why did they wait till now to take care of him?
See, this is where it gets complicated. See, this is the problem now, because the problem with that secret society ending is that now it opens up so many plot holes that really now nobody can answer exactly, because it's like, okay, they knew about David, they knew about the incident, they knew all about that stuff. They are trying to keep all this stuff lit, but yet they haven't captured him yet. They haven't done anything like that.
Here's from what I understand, because remember that she said that little thing. It's like, oh, we've known you for years, but you haven't really become like any kind of a threat until the Beast came. I'm like,
what?
Yeah, that's what I remember from the movie. She's like saying, oh, until the Beast came, we didn't really have you out. We had you on a radar, but you weren't to a point where you were a threat. We were just some kind of guy, a vigilante, not a superhero. I'm like,
I don't buy that stuff, man. I don't buy that.
I hate how he went out. I thought he was like overcame that in like the last few minutes.
I thought he did, because there's that scene where the Beast is trying to drown him. And
punching through. I mean, he's like literally subdued underwater. I'm like, I thought he would have been so weakened at that point.
He couldn't do anything, but he was still powerful. But
all he does is get shoved his head into a fucking puddle and he drowns.
Oh, that's it. I was disappointed with that. I was disappointed with the death of Kevin, the death of the Beast. I was disappointed with that. I mean, I will say this much. As far as the brutality is concerned, you do see a little bit of blood. You do see all that kind of stuff. It's not really...
A little bit of cannibalism.
A tiny bit. It's not as much as Split, though.
No.
Which I was really... I thought
it was just a snack for him. He was prepping for the main course.
Just like I'm about to do with you.
Or I'm about to do with you. No, I don't like... I don't like my food kosher.
Jewish is the best, baby. No.
The way you eat.
No, that's true. But, no, look.
I just thought the ending was just kind of derailed. I mean, the first two movies I can accept. You don't really need to go on to this third one. I mean, if you cut out the whole secret society part, this movie would have been a decent movie.
Well, let me ask you this, because before this movie came out, a lot of critics have called this one of M. Night Shyamalan's worst movies.
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm sorry, but do you guys forget Lady in the Water?
Oh, don't even get me started on that.
The Village, the Happening, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Does anybody remember this shit? God. Because those are far worse than Glasses. Okay.
I'd have to say probably the worst one out of all of them would probably be The Happening. I hated that movie. I was like hoping for everybody to die in that film.
It's just not. I mean, is this M. Night's worst movie? No, not by a fucking long shot. It's
like
not.
I said, the only part that made this movie kind of almost unbearable to watch was the whole society part.
Yeah, that's really the thing that got to me was that.
They should have kept it ominous,
They should have
get taken away instead of killed.
But they didn't, and that's the problem. And I mean, I will say this much about M. Night.
Yeah.
Something that I found out, which was really interesting. He did not make this with studio money. He ended up financing this film all by himself.
Wow. He
put collateral on his house. He ended up putting money into this to make this movie.
Hope this movie makes a lot of money.
I mean, let's hope that it does.
You still got to pay everything, like contracts, for the movie, getting time for cameras and shit.
Yeah, I mean, he had to pay all that shit. It's got to come back into his pocket at some point. I mean, I will say this much, man. I think the movie... See, for me, I'm more of a fan of Unbreakable than I am Split. I love Split, but I'm more of a fan of Unbreakable.
Was pretty damn good.
But this movie feels more like... It feels more like Unbreakable than it does Split, which I'm fine with. But again, you have to combine the worlds of Unbreakable and Split together.
It's like a blender full of both movies.
And did it fully work?
And you figure a movie called Glass, it would be mostly about him getting the other two.
And that's what the trailers almost sold it as too, but that wasn't the case either.
Felt like more like therapy session for this a good chunk of the movie.
I mean, damn, bring Dr. Phil into that motherfucker. I mean, shit, man, he'll go 20 rounds.
I mean, the only thing I could say Paulson's character did, but in terms of making them disbelieve their abilities, but it was how she broke down the scene in Split with Kevin's character about the bars and the gunshot, how he survived it. I mean, she didn't really do as much with David's character, but
no. But again, this was not the David Dunn show. This was the Kevin Beast multiple personality show. But I thought that worked well in Split.
Felt like Glass was just making a guest appearance. I'm like, hey, how's it going?
Hey, and that was the problem, guys.
This movie was called Glass, not therapy show,
No, it's not. And that's the thing about it. I mean, look, I'm going to be honest here and say that, because when I watched Unbreakable, I never considered this ever possibility of becoming a trilogy. I never sat there saying this was going to be a trilogy at all. Now that it's a trilogy, do I think it all works as a trilogy? No, I really...
I think this last part was the chink of the trilogy that just didn't connect with the other two.
It didn't do...
up till that ending part.
It connects pretty well. And look, up until that point, I'm not bored. I enjoyed the movie. I'm enjoying what I'm getting. Mm-hmm. But I'm not... But I just... See, for me, what it is like... You have to stick the landing. It's all about sticking the landing. Because if you can't do that and really make a satisfying end to this, then I sit there as an audience member saying, why...
What was the point of this whole thing?
What was the point of this whole thing? Why did I invest all this time in there? I still love Unbreakable. I'll still watch that movie. I'll watch Split again. Mm-hmm. Will I watch Glass again? Maybe. Maybe I'll watch it again. I mean, if I want to know, more about like the Thorn Call from Halloween 6 or something, and them, having their fucking thing, yeah, possibly. But I just don't know. I mean, it's a decent movie, but it's not great like I was really expecting. What is your final thoughts and grade rating on Glass, sir?
Well, I mean, I pretty much. Like we said, the personalities of Kevin Crumb were great.
Oh my God, they're fantastic.
You get to see a couple new ones that you've heard about in the Split movie. Pretty much almost all the acting was pretty spot on. I mean, like I said, the Sarah Paulson character felt at least up to the point where they tell her, she's part of the society. It just felt like very weak with her character.
Yeah, that's true.
But then again, it's how the character was written.
Yeah.
I thought the best jobs were basically the main characters. Even for Samuel L. Jackson for the minor role that he had in this movie,
it was still good. I
mean, he's a creative. Mr. Glass is definitely a creative bastard.
Dude, he has some creative stuff. I will say this much: even though it's a short screen time for Samuel L. Jackson, he makes the most of it.
I mean, Buck, when he does the part where he's about to escape his cell to go meet with the Beast, he just right before he does the grand escape, the one guard comes in to check on him. He's like all out of it, and he's just like, I'm like, what did you do? I'm like, it went so fast. I'm like apparently he had a slice of glass in his hand, and it's like, oh, it took a while to find the right piece for this.
Yeah, it was like
I wasn't expecting him to do that. I thought he'd be like something like a bomb or something.
Yeah, like he doesn't seem like the guy that would do that, the supervillain that would do that kind of stuff.
Then again, I mean, once he teams up with just trying to convince the Beast, and even then he's like, you are broken, because Beast likes helping people that are broken and damaged, and
yes, not people who have not suffered.
Yeah, that's why he pretty much hates Bruce Willis' character, the Overseer.
Yeah, he really hates him a lot.
Like, even then, the fascination between the Beast and it's like, who is that other guy? Is he like us? Is he special?
Yes.
And I was like, there's a big smackdown that's going down with that. I was kind of surprised when Dunn's character does the escape to go fight the horde or the beast for the final time. I was surprised, after all this disbelief in his head, he figured he'd get a lot weaker. And
yeah.
I mean, he was still able to go through. That must have been 12 inches of thick steel door that he went through.
Oh God, yeah. Probably, if I had to say, yeah.
If a normal person tried to do that, they'd probably break almost every arm or bone in their arm.
Yeah, they probably would.
Probably some ribs too.
Yeah,
I mean, he was rubbing his arm a little bit, so he must have got a little hurt.
Yeah, a little hurt. I was saying a little bit.
But I mean, like I said, everything up to the point where they get to the society, I thought was good. I also thought the Casey character did a great job for the very minor role that she had in it.
Yes, I think she, and I will say this. I think the problem with this movie, and I think it's an M. Night problem more than anything else, is that he has all these characters, but in a lot of ways he just doesn't know what to do with all of them. He wants them in the movie, and he wants to utilize them, but he just doesn't know how to get the best out of it at some point. So he ends up, I'll bring Casey back. Well, Casey is just gonna have a small minor role, even though it's
should
good.
Give her a bigger one.
We'll have David Dunn's kid back, a small role. Still, they did a good job, but were they utilized in the best way? Stuff like that.
I mean, the only thing I could say. Let's see, I'm trying to think of what I was going to say to make a point. I think, like you said, all the other characters, Samuel's characters could have had a bigger part, the Casey could have had a bigger part. I think the son had just a decent enough part for it.
Yeah.
Same with Elijah's mother.
Yeah.
I think when they get to the final climax of the movie, I just felt like it was
lacking, or was it?
I would have had it more ominous, now that the society's out there, it's just they take each one of them away to a different facility or somewhere that they can be locked up, or with other potential superhumans.
Sure,
the more dangerous ones go this way, and the ones that do good go that way. Maybe they examine them, see how their abilities work.
Yeah, that would be cool. I like it.
I mean, hell, this movie was good up until that point.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I'd still recommend to see this movie, just like with the other two, which I consider more of a recommendation.
Yeah.
It's just that part with the society just kind of killed a good chunk of the movie for me.
That is true. So what's you had to give this? Actually, give it 2 grade ratings.
One together as a whole trilogy and one as a separate movie.
Yes. This has a third film, end of a trilogy, and just as a separate film on its own.
For the movie itself, up until the point where it was going for at least a high B+ before you got to the society part.
Yeah.
I'd have to say I brought it down considerably. It would have to be a very low, borderline B-. Very low.
For just a film on its own?
Yes.
Okay.
Because before that, it was almost A potential.
Yes. It was
good.
Good.
They're heightening it up to that point.
Yeah.
But once they got to the society part, it just kind of killed a good chunk of the movie for me.
It falters a bit.
As a whole, I thought the Unbreakable that first movie was pretty much A material right there.
Yeah.
And then when I saw Split, I was like, holy shit, this movie's great. I'd have to say that was another A material here. But when you get to this one, it kind of brought it down toward the end.
It did.
I mean, if anything, I'd have to put all together as a combined grade, probably very high B+, almost an A range. If it wasn't for that society thing, this would be an A trilogy.
Okay, I will say there is a couple other things in the movie we didn't talk about. There is flashbacks in the movie.
Yeah.
There is flashbacks with Elijah when he's a kid about his experiences of his broken bones.
Christ, he really is breakable. All you do is ah!
Yeah, he literally, somebody just boom, and he's literally like.
Well, you figure, I mean, like that scene that we saw in the movie where he's going on the twirl.
It's like almost
the
like
twirling
twirling machine that kids do at carnivals or something.
I'm like, if he's that breakable, why the hell is he? Even with he had like two stuffed bears, and he was wrapping his shirt around the metal bars so he can keep himself stable. Like, once he loses all that stuff, he's just like, he's barely touching anything. Broken.
Yeah,
broken.
I mean, you got that. You've got flashbacks with Kevin and his mother abusing him and stuff like that.
No wonder he went psycho.
Well, yes. You also have, it's not even flashback, it's scenes from Unbreakable with Willis.
Oh, now I remember that thing I was going to say. I'll wait till you're done, though.
Okay. No, my thing about it is, like, there is stuff like the flashbacks, which are really cool. There is stuff that does inform more of the characters. I love seeing Samuel Jackson back as Mr. Glass. The short stuff he did, I still think it's great. I'm a fan of Bruce Willis, and I like Willis a lot here. He's not being very, like, I'm action man, and I'm
Do you like that he's more of a now seasoned vigilante / superhero?
Yes, I like it. I like that he's brought in his kid as sort of his I was gonna say sort of his Kato to his Green Hornet, but it's not really because Kato's more
to his Robin.
Yeah, something, or I guess like Batman's Alfred or something like something like that.
Did you like how you see his future life now, what he does for a living?
Yeah, which I really,
Done security.
Done security, which is great. Like I got a few things to shore up in this apartment, so I'm going to done security as soon as I get done here. But
I will say this: him and his kid got quite a setup for they're doing their vigilante thing.
They do. They've got it down pat. The whole thing with the earpiece, and they kind of they're mapping the city and everything like that. Actually, really cool stuff there as well. There's a lot of really great things in here. I think all the actors do a good job. I like the overall story of it. I like the action, but it's just, it can't get over the finish line. It can't do it, and it stumbles in a big bad way. For me, just as a film itself, I'm probably gonna give it a high B-. As just a regular film.
Almost a little bit
opposite on that. And as a trilogy, I just don't think the trilogy connects that well. I think you have a great Unbreakable. I think you have a great Split, but they're almost very two different films that tries to have this film bring it all home, and it just can't do it, and it falters, and it's almost like baking a pie. Like, you have the ingredients there, and the ingredients are really great, and you're like, oh man, this is gonna be a killer pie, man. It's gonna be a killer berry pie, and then the pie you take it out of the oven, and we
didn't ask for a pie, we asked for a PB&J.
PB&J. And so, but no, what I'm saying is that it just doesn't fully work, and it doesn't fully come together. And I would probably say, for me, that as a trilogy, it's gonna go into probably the probably average C+ range for me. All together is probably gonna be in a low B- of the whole thing.
So we're pretty much on the
we're pretty much on the same par. But
I mean, like, the only minor thing before we can continue this,
yeah.
You notice how in the movie as the Horde starts to disbelieve in their own abilities.
Yeah.
You know which personality I was kind of surprised turned their attitude around was the OCD dentist character. He's like, I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to kill nobody no more.
Yes, you do find that as they end up doubting more of what's going on, that they don't really want to be on board with this anymore. And it's really very fascinating, the different personalities, and also how it ends up just affecting each of the personalities. I really love that a lot. And I will say something really cool about that whole stuff with the personalities thing, which was really cool in the Split movie as well, is that they have these long shots where, like, it'll cut to somebody and it'll cut to the lights, and then it'll quickly cut back to McAvoy doing a different personality, and then it'll cut back to another character, and then it'll cut back into these long shots, and McAvoy has to not only like do one character, but then he has to quickly get into another character, and it has to be incredibly believable. God damn it, give this guy a fucking Oscar.
I mean,
because he's so fucking fantastic. If watching Glass for any reason is watching James McAvoy.
I mean, just the facial and the posture, and it's just like every character, every new personality he takes on, you can tell the difference.
He's amazing in it. That's really what. But then again, you could just watch Split too. So you know, where's the difference here?
Then you know, he got like super jacked to play the Beast. I mean, Jesus Christ. Guy looked like he's been super weight training.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man.
You got the... You're not the Beast. You're more like...
The what?
More like the puppy.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. Let us know what you think of Glass, what you think of the trilogy here, M. Night, what do you think of all of the stuff here. Did he live up to the hype, or did it falter? Let us know. And, you know what? I am sick of you here. I really am. It's time to put you back in your place again.
No, I think it's time for you to put the tape over your mouth.
No, I'm not going to do that. You have just disobeyed me for the last time here, so yeah. Sorry, buddy.
Rejoice!
No,
Rejoice!
Good, he's gone now. Just to be sure. Good night, everybody.